I'm making cheesesteaks tonight. So
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say
Now that
Philly
sounds
cheesesteak. I'm not gonna say Philly because I'm not from
because you're
Philly
making
and
them
they're
in
not.
Texas.
But I'm making cheesesteaks. I'm doing my take on it. But yeah, so
You
I'm
call
making
them
Philly cheese.
Texas
I'm making
cheesesteak.
smash burgers tomorrow, and I'm about to make some old fashions tonight. But hey, guess what I got
Okay.
tonight? A little elixir.
Cheers. I'm telling you. Yeah, we're gonna try this thing called crack burgers.
Crack burgers.
Yeah, it's well, so it's ground beef. Now some
Mm-hmm.
of the ingredients are a little weird, but it's ground beef, it's sour cream,
Okay.
the ranch packet dressing, some cheddar cheese, the white cheddar cheese, and it's bacon. So you can cook it,
Wow.
or you can just cut the bacon up real fine, put it in the burger, and just cook it with the burger. Put them up there, smash them, and boom.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a shot. It's supposed to be really good.
Okay.
So we're gonna see what happens. So probably gonna do that Sunday. So
Okay.
just
Hell yeah.
just to give it a shot because I like burgers.
Hey, that sounds good, man. Sounds really
Yeah.
good.
So right
Well,
now,
yeah.
3-0, 2 outs runner at
Yeah.
first, but they had the bases loaded. When you got bases loaded and no outs, you need to get a run, okay? And then if you can get 2, that's great. If you can get 3, really awesome. But you need to at least we got to get a run. And the Braves have already got 2. So yeah,
Yeah. All right. So this is like our filler. I mean, we can really call this the Braves Hour. It's not. We're not on episode 7 yet. We're not. But what we are on is just kind of like a middle of the road where we're going to give you 2 things today. We're going to give you a breakdown of Chiefs Low Country Bowl, and then we're going to give you some Braves updates, go into what we think. We're going to keep this really, really short. So Chief's going to have about 5-10 minutes here to go into his Low Country Bowl. Because I like the Low Country Bowl. I've had it plenty of times before, and him and Tom as well, which that's who you make it with a lot, but y'all do a great job with it. So I want to kind of let the listeners listen to this. So.
Hey, I did talk to our friend, the judge.
Judge.
Yeah. I'm not going to drop his name. But yeah, he's not going to be able to come on the show. So he said if anything ever changes, I don't know how long he's going to do it. He may retire, but until then, he just can't. This is actually considered social media. So anyway, so I just wanted to let you know that. So the Low Country Boil. Now there are variations. It's been called Frogmore Stew. It's been called several different things. For me, we just call it Low Country Boil. There are 4 ingredients that are required to be calling it a Low Country Boil in the South. Okay. First of all, potatoes. You need the red potatoes. All right. Red skin potatoes are the best. They hold up better. It's just better. It's just, they work better. Trust me. You need corn and corn on the cob. Now, this can be frozen or it can be fresh. All right. I recommend the fresh. All right. The big difference is if it's fresh, then you can cook it less and you don't have to thaw it or anything. If it's frozen, you got to thaw it because when you have something, even if you have a vat, and I have the giant pot. I don't even know how big it is, but I know it's more than 10 gallons. So you need the corn and then you need shrimp. Now, here's the thing. Frozen shrimp is probably the best, but you do have to thaw it. Otherwise, you're going to significantly cool down the temperature at a critical point because the shrimp goes in last. You only need to cook it for 3 or 4 minutes with once you drop in the shrimp. So the best now, there's also different philosophies. Okay. There is the tail on shrimp, peel on everything. Okay. And you get more of the seasoning if you that's not true. It doesn't cook long enough. You don't want to marinate it. The best thing to do, okay, is to have the split shrimp where they have the tail on, they split it, they clean out the vein. And everybody knows what that vein is. And if you don't, look it up. But they clean out the vein. That way, people can still peel it a little bit. It gets some more of the brininess that people like that in the shrimp. So, and then, of course, you got to have the sausage. Now, the best thing to use, and this is because if you're cooking for a lot of people, this is more popular, just regular pork smoked sausage. Okay. Hillshire Farm, Smithfield, any of them are fine. I like the Polska kielbasa. I've done it a few times. Nobody ever noticed. Those 4 things you got to have. Okay. Yeah. Now there's some add-ons and we'll get to that in a minute, but I gave this tip out earlier. When you do a Low Country Boil, you absolutely need to use this, I call it the veteran move. Okay. Because You develop it once you have experience. You fill your pot up with water, not all the way. In fact, whatever size pot you got, you probably want to fill it up about a third of the way. Okay, so if you've got a 15-gallon pot, then you want to put about 5 gallons of water in there. Okay, I think mine is like 30, so we put 10 gallons in, third of the way. Take that bag, that seasoning bag. Personally, endorsement here, I like the Louisiana seasoning bag. Okay, the Zatarain's is just fine. They're almost interchangeable. It's just the Louisiana bag for me seems to not break. All right. And so you put it in there and you let it sit for at least 3 or 4 hours. I mean, if you're going to do low country boil, and you just decide all of a sudden, I'm going to do low country boil at 5 o'clock, you're way behind the 8 ball if you're going to eat at 7. So you're going to start cooking this thing, put it on around 5. That way you can eat. Everybody can eat 6:37. Then around 11, you need to throw that bag in the water, put your lid on it, let it sit. Okay. After a couple hours, give it a little stir. Then once you turn on your heat, put on your burner and you start to warm it up. All right. You get warms up before you put in whatever. And the first thing you're going to put in is your potatoes. Okay. They take the longest to cook. You are going to fish out that bag. Okay. That way, no chance of it breaking with you stirring or cleaning everything out, because if it breaks, all those little seeds and get in the food and it just messes it up. Okay. So once you do that, then you're going to start with your food. Also, I've never done it. I've seen people do it. Okay. They will make their own bag with their own seasonings. If you know a lot about seasonings, or you find a recipe, or something that works, great. And then other people will put in like Old Bay, and they make it spicy, but they'll put in Old Bay, maybe some cayenne, stuff like that. And they just put that in the water straight, which is fine. Okay. One thing about it, your mom doesn't like low country boil that much because she's not crazy about the seasoning. So if you're going to do Old Bay straight in the water, you need to make sure that that's okay, because a lot of people, they're not going to like the Old Bay seasoning. Okay. So but throw the cayenne in if you want it spicy. I've always been of the, of the mindset. I have an Old Bay, cayenne, and a couple other seasonings. You can make whatever you want in a shaker so people can put it on themselves. There you go. Boom. After it's done. So anyway, first thing you do, you got to throw in your potatoes. Okay. You want to throw those in. You got to cook them till they're fork tender. Now, usually once the water's boiling and you throw them in, this is about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay. Unless you got, like I said, the red potatoes, they're smaller. Unless you got giant potatoes. Another thing is, if you have red potatoes that are this size and then they're this size, you need to try to cut them up the same size. So also same thing. And that's all you have to cut, that. And then you have to cut up your sausage. Cut those up about the same size. They don't have to be the same size as the potatoes, but all the sausage needs to be the same size as the other sausage. All the little sausages need to all be the same size. All right. The only place where, communism works, every piece gets the same size. So low country boil.
Low country boil.
So, and then you throw in your sausage, then you got your corn, and the sausage needs to cook, so 8 to 10 minutes, with the potatoes. Throw in your sausage and just kind of monitor it. I mean, it's hard to keep that temperature exactly at 350 or 400 or 300 or whatever, and the water boils way before that. So just kind of monitor it. Just, get your tongs or get your scooper or whatever, and then take your, I need to take some pictures and put it on here so people can see, but, get your scooper, test it. Once it starts to get tender, throw in your sausage. A couple minutes, throw in your corn. When you get to throwing your shrimp. Now, here is where you can excel. There are some other options, okay? One thing that we always put in, unless we absolutely cannot find them, mussels. Mussels go in before the shrimp. They don't cook long. You throw them in. Here's the thing about mussels. If you go through and you can buy them frozen, you can buy them fresh. Publix always has, they're most likely they are previously frozen, so they're not, they're not fresh, right? They didn't come off the boat and then ship to Publix and they throw them out on the ice, but they're not frozen, which is good. If you get a mussel and that mussel is opened, throw it out. Don't cook it. Don't waste your time. Okay. They open when they cook. If it's open before you put the heat on it, however you're going to cook it, if you're going to put it in a sauce or whatever, or especially the boil, So anyway, throw your mussels in. Another thing is crawfish. Okay.
Yeah.
In the
Crawfish
South here,
is a big one.
we call them mud bugs. Okay. I have. Look, you peel it off. That tail meat is so tender and sweet. Yeah, boy. You know, the only person that we have in our normal group that will do it with me is Ashton. But we will pop it off and we will suck the heads. You know, y'all know what's in there, but it is so flavorful, especially when it's boiled right. So anyway, and then another thing is you could do crab legs. I've seen people do it. It's expensive. I don't think you want to have crab legs if you're trying to feed 40 people. Yeah. So and some people don't like the crab legs with the flavor. So, but it's an option. Okay. Now you have all this. Now, if you are going to do it several times, you need to get the big pot. I also have an insert. Okay. Like a cage. It's its own basket. And so once I'm done, we get a big, because you need a big thing to stir. And what we've used a boat oar, I've used this big old paddle. Anyway, so you raise it up out of the water. Okay, otherwise you got to fish it out with your strainer or whatever. But you raise it up, boom, your little basket, and they're pretty cheap, man. You can get Academy. Lowe's, Home Depot, it's a lot cheaper. Walmart will have them. It's a whole lot. You could go on Amazon, but get the pot with the insert basket. You pull that basket up, you let it drain pretty good. You take a table and you just pour out. I saw these guys, they did it in a bathtub. I'm not doing that, but and I saw one, they had this big, huge sled. Okay. It was like a snow sled or whatever. Yeah. And they just poured it on there. But we just take a table, put out, a tablecloth and a bunch of newspaper and just boom, pour it out there. You need to have your butter. You can have your salt and pepper, have your seasoning. You need, you need cocktail sauce. Some people want ketchup. Some people have tartar sauce. I don't know, but have all that stuff.
I just eat it straight up,
and then just hammer it. Now I will use cocktail sauce for the shrimp. Everything else, but maybe a little bit of butter.
Dude, I don't eat everything
on the potatoes and maybe the corn.
I eat everything straight up. I don't really ever.
Well,
I don't ever
personally.
It's just everything's so well seasoned and the flavor's so good. I don't need anything with it. I just eat it all.
Personally, my favorite thing in a low country boil, I think I probably said this, I don't know, but if you can guess.
The shrimp?
No, actually, it's the sausage. Listen, you could see a theme with me. The favorite food I talked about at a ballpark was sausage dogs. I love sausage. I love really good smoked sausage, bratwurst, Polish sausage. I love all that stuff. Okay. And it's my favorite. And I think it's really good with that seafood seasoning. With that crab boil really seasoning.
It is. It is.
So anyway, that's the perfect boil. Okay. If anybody else has any other tips or comments, drop it in the chat. I would love to. I will try it. Okay. If you say, hey, throw some peanut butter in there, I'm probably not going to try that. Okay, even though I love peanut butter, but I will try all sorts of things. I'll make a small little batch myself. I won't even go out and fire up my little burner or whatever. I'll just put a little pot on the stove and give it a shot. I am all about trying new things, so give it a try. And trust me, the mussels, you are going to be a hit at your next party, get together, or whatever. Yeah. I know burgers and hot dogs are going to be huge on the 4th. Do a low country boil. You can cook the other stuff too. Hey, if you're drinking or you're partying or you're playing cornhole or badminton or volleyball or whatever you do, it is easy. All you do is you have everything. You cut up the potatoes. You get them. All the same time. You cut up the sausage. Boom. That's it. Everything else, you're basically just dumping it in and pulling it out. So it's not a lot of work. You're not standing over the griddle or the grill.
Very low intensity, low maintenance, low intensity. It's one of those it's one of those, man, you throw it all in there and then you sit around and have some drinks and you talk.
And you see, here's the thing, okay? Like cooking on the griddle or whatever, or the smoker especially.
It's a lot of work.
You have some beer, okay? You bought me, and I'm gonna wear that one episode, okay? I'm gonna wear my Raiders apron, my Raiders grill apron that you bought me. It's got the bottle opener. It's got a pocket for the beer. I use that. all the time. I know. I took it out there so we could cook when I was out there.
I know, and you forgot it.
Set you up on your Blackstone. That's right. I need it back. So, or you can either bring it back or maybe we'll come get it this fall. So, but
yeah,
either way, but you just need to. With the Low Country Boil, you don't need to be totally on your game. It's just easy. Steps are simple, so you can do the Low Country Boil while you have the advanced spirits. That's what we'll call them. You got beer, and there's different beer. There's craft beers. There's whatever, but then there are the advanced spirits.
Right?
And, I love beer.
So I'm about to make old fashions here soon, but I'm using Buffalo Trace to make them, which is a great. But Ashley was in there and she asked, do y'all have Blanton's? And they said, yes, we have it. You have to ask at the register. It's in the back. Well, we asked the person, hey, when do y'all get it? Are y'all going to have it again? Like, we know you'll have it. And the guy said, he said, we just got it today. And we only get about 12 bottles each time. It is very rare because it's yes, we only get about 12 bottles. He said they will be gone tomorrow. So me and Ashley got it. It's for a little small 750 milliliter. You know how much it is? $90.
Yeah, that's crazy. You can get it a little cheaper here.
But it is very smooth. It is
very good. Yeah,
bourbon.
Yep. The last time I had it was with Tom. Tom has 2 bottles.
Her favorite. I think that's her favorite.
Yeah. Blanton's is good. Nothing wrong with Blanton's.
But but we're gonna save that for special occasion. But anyways, so we got a Low Country Boil out. I'm gonna go through and talk about the Braves.
Horse Soldier.
Crown Vanilla. But then I'm gonna get to the old fashions later. So
anyway, so that's the Low Country Boil.
That's not bad. Like I said, I've had it before. I like it. I love it. It's good because you get to pick what you want, man. You can just grab it off. Y'all dump it on the little thing.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't like mussels? Push them to the side.
Yeah. Push them to the side. Get the shrimp.
Grab
get
some
potatoes.
more corn. Yeah.
Whatever.
And
perfect.
They don't really cross mix each other. That's one of the things. The seasoning kind of, so you can. That's why you can do that. And if someone else has something else to drop it in, I'd love to. Yeah. I'd love for any other ideas if you got something. I've seen people put andouille sausage or whatever. Like I said, hey, drop it in the chat. Ask questions. Low Country Boil is worth a dialogue.
It is, and it's really good. But that's like I said, I love it. But we'll move on. We're gonna do this real quick, about 10-15 minutes. Most. Yeah. We're gonna run through the Braves, okay? Because I remember a couple episodes ago we were talking about them, and we talked about how we did our NL State of the Union. We talked about how the Braves were going to continue the success, and they were contenders, and then they got into the Nationals, and then they lost the series. They didn't score many runs. Offense went cold. Then you go to the Red Sox, right? You go to the Red Sox series, and you win the first one. You didn't score much, though. Then the second game, you get shut out. And that was 3 shutouts in, 5 games? You got that 3 times in 5 games, I think? Yeah. And you were asking
me. You basically got shut out 3 out of 4 games because the one run Sunday was like a gimme that don't count. I'm sorry. But that was terrible.
So we were talking, and you were like, hey, is this one of those things that happens, or is this a problem? And I didn't have an answer for you then, but I have an answer for you now, and it's pretty obvious by what they did last night and what they're doing right now. It is definitely temporary. It is a roadblock. It's not a roadblock. It's a speed bump. It's a slight little speed bump. They had a little bit of a lapse. The approaches are getting better. They're gonna hit. They're gonna be fine. They just had a bad stretch, and you're gonna have that. But I'll tell you what.
Of course.
Acuna, I thought this earlier. Acuna's starting to get hot. Grand slam last night, leadoff home run tonight. He's walked a couple times in his last few ABs, which means he's being patient. He's watching pitches. He's not chasing. Albies is hitting again. Olson's hitting again. Dubon's hitting again. And now, guess what? Ha-Seong Kim hasn't been in the lineup the last 3 games. Walt Weiss ain't messing around anymore.
Yeah.
He ain't.
That guy's not hitting a lick, so, he needs to be
and guess what? Walt has made the hard decision that Brian Snitker and Bobby Cox never made of, let's move this guy out of the lineup and get Mateo or somebody else in another chance. And it's worked. It's working. But Acuna and Riley, here's my problem. Acuna is making the adjustments. Riley still hasn't. Acuna last night, 2 walks, a grand slam. Riley 0 for 5, 4 Ks. And he's still not hitting.
Yeah, Riley's giving you stuff here or there, but he is not putting any consistency together.
No. But that was my point is it was temporary. We're getting there. So I want to hear your thoughts, what you think, whatever.
Well, at some point after, what are we, 55, 56 games, All right, at some point there should be some level of consistency. I'm talking about there should be 8 to 10 games where you're doing what you're going to do. If you're going to bat 270, you need to be batting 270 to 290 during that stretch.
Right.
Riley will hit a game, maybe two, dead for a couple. I mean, he's up and down. So the series, what bothered me is the series against Washington, and you lost 2 out of 3. And Washington does have some players. Okay, right now it's 4-0, 1 out, runner at first in the top of the third. The Braves are up on the Redlegs. So you go up there and you take a strike. Okay, a good strike. And what did Randy used to tell you all the time?
The most damage is done on the first pitch strike.
The first good fastball strike is the pitch to hit. So they're watching that. And so it'll be, maybe they see a ball. Maybe it's high or it's way outside. Then they'll get a good strike to hit. Now they're 1-1. Yeah. Then they throw some breaking ball out of the zone and they swing at it. Okay. Now you ought to be 2-1, which is a great hitter's count. In my opinion, that's the best hitter's count because there's no pressure up and down. 3-0, there's pressure 3-0 because if you're going to swing 3-0, you better not roll it over. You better not pop it up. So there's pressure. 3-1, little less, but 2-1 is a great hitter's count. 3-1's optimal from my opinion. Okay. Because you're still dialed in, you're still on edge. You don't think you're getting anything for free, but if it's not something you like, you can take it and you're still good. And you're more likely to be green lighted or to be ready to hit 3-1 than 3-0. So, but 2-1. And so what they're doing is they're getting themselves out. Okay. So then the guy comes up there and, maybe he throws a strike and you miss it or you foul one off or you chase another one and then you're out on one strike. You cannot be striking out, a team. The Braves in the Saturday night game last week, you lost 2-0. Okay. The Braves had 17 out of 27 outs. Okay. So that's almost, that's like 64, 63, 64, 60, but 17 outs where they saw one strike or less. 17 outs.
They chased
on one strike or less. Pitches. Yes. So this guy, he's throwing 45 strike, or the team, they're throwing 45 strikes, 80 balls, and you lose 2-0. You cannot let that happen.
Can't do that.
Okay. That shouldn't happen once. And it happened for really 3 out of 4 games. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what bothered me.
There's some dude that's going to listen to this and be like, he didn't throw actually 80 balls. They would have been balls had we not swung. That's your point.
Yeah.
Some people will hear that and be like, he didn't throw 80. No, he would have had we just took every pitch.
The best thing I ever heard was I was at a tournament, and I think this was one of Ace's tournaments. And, I was just watching, I guess it was our team. I don't know, but and the pitch was high and the guy swung at it and the guy's like, that wasn't even a strike. And the next guy said, every pitch that you swing at is a strike.
It's a strike.
On the scorecard, it'll say strike. Okay.
Yes.
I remember people saying, going back to the Gamecocks, okay, back when they had their run, and people would say, Michael Roth is never going to make it to the majors. As dynamic a pitcher, and you met him, Yeah. Great guy.
About Texas Roadhouse.
Yep. Talked to all the kids. Always was just a great guy. Great kid. Okay. Dude. Great college pitcher. Absolutely came in out of nowhere as a sophomore, as a reliever, came in, started a game against Clemson, and they were sitting tight. All they needed was one win. We had to beat them twice just to get to the finals. And he basically just shoved it right up the butt. Okay. Boom. Here you go. Stuck on that. We'll see you tomorrow to run you out of town. So, but the critique on him was, what are you going to do? What is he going to do when he gets to these upper levels? And you have to get guys out in the strike zone. Okay. Yes. Well, if he could pitch against the Braves from this past weekend, he would need to get guys out in the strikes. And you can't do that. Okay. That's my problem. Mm-hmm. All right. You have to make them throw some strikes. It's already hard enough to hit the ball. If you're going to hit balls that are out of that box that's supposed to be there for your advantage, then you're giving away any kind of advantage you have. So that's what worried me was all of and it wasn't one guy. Okay. Mm-hmm. What did we have? One game? We had 2 hits. Yeah. This offense should not have 2 hits.
No, it should.
It was frustrating to watch. It was frustrating to sit there. And what is even worse is you get a guy like Grant Holmes goes out there and pitches a heck of a game,
his ass
and you
off.
don't help him out. Yeah. I mean, this guy, he just give him some support. So anyway, that's what bothered me. But again, it's a small sample size over 162 games. You came back out. You won a series against the Red Sox on the road. Now Cincinnati is a legit contender right now, and I'm looking on ESPN. As we stand, Cincinnati is in fifth place in the wild card, and they are one game out. Okay, they're half game behind St. Louis, but they are one game out from being in that top 3 for the wild card.
You're talking about wild card. Okay.
Also, if you look, they are now. This looks bad because they're 4th, but honestly, they're one game out of 2nd.
Right.
Okay, and of course, who did I tout in that division? Go back to the tape. The Brew Crew, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. You can just tell, man. That team
and I touted the Cubs. Well, I will say this. Let's
and they're second. So
let's bring it up that yes, you did get the Brew Crew right. You did tout them, but you also shook your head no, like Morris when I said the Cardinals, and they're still ahead of the Reds. So
that's
I mean,
true.
like I said, the Cardinals are not that bad.
That's true. Well, my order was Milwaukee, Cincinnati, Chicago. Okay.
Yes. So, and I had Chicago, Milwaukee, and
I am wrong.
Yeah, I get it.
So I got Chicago. 2, 3, 4 right, but I had them backward. Well, actually, nope. I had St. Louis 5th. I had Pitt 4th in that division.
Yes.
So,
and so you're doubting St. Louis.
What do I know?
But no, you got the division winner. See me, you had the Brew Crew. Then
who is
Chicago.
This old man?
I don't know. It's just some crazy old dude that raised me, I guess.
I guess so.
But no, you had the Brew Crew, and then you had the Cubs, and obviously I split. I had the Cubs. I have the Cubs first. Still, I still think that they're going to win the division. We disagree on that. You think the Brewers? I think the Cubs will win.
4-game lead with 105 games left.
Yeah,
so
still plenty of games.
You don't know. Yeah. You don't know. So I mean, I still believe Cincinnati's gonna. And I actually had Cincinnati 2nd. I had the Cubs 3rd. So we'll see. One thing is the Dodgers have now started to separate.
Hey, you said it. The NL Central is the Wild West right now, man. It's just whoever wants it, man. Take it.
There's 5 teams in there that could go into a 5-game series and beat anybody in the big leagues.
Exactly. So no, I agree. But yeah, no. Looking outside though, it's funny. Going back to the Braves, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got a little discouraged after the National Series and the second game of the Red Sox series. I was like, oh, Lord, are we gonna implode? But we bounced back. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we close this out, we go to, I'll let you kind of respond to this, but
I will say this. I was not worried that the loss, the Red Sox loss didn't bother me because they came back.
The Nationals did.
But the National Series had me a little worried because we barely scored. And here's the thing. They've got some players. Wood is an all-star. Okay. I'd take him right now, but they got no pitching, and their pitching just made us look bad. So that's why I said they'll fade after July. They won't be around, and they still won't because of the pitching. But, boy, they sure had our number for a couple of days.
Now, let me tell you something. This is the last thing, and then we're going to close it out because we have company coming here in a few, and I got to cook. But oh,
yeah. Have fun.
Braves are going to have to make a trade deadline acquisition. We're going to have to do something to move the needle. Now,
you were telling me about it.
There's a couple of people, but I'm gonna mention one right now. And if I was Alex Anthopoulos, I would give away some prospects for this. I mean, I really would. I'd probably give away a starting pitcher that's in our rotation. Right? I'd probably give away someone like J.R. Ritchie or Grant Holmes for this. But Byron Buxton, Twins outfielder. There's your left fielder. There's a left fielder to replace. You could trade Yastrzemski too. Give him Yastrzemski and a pitcher, whatever. Byron Buxton in left field. That should be the number one Braves trade target. He is a great outfielder. He is an elite hitter. He would absolutely, imagine a lineup with Acuna and Baldwin and Olsen and Albies and Harris and then Buxton and Riley and Dom Smith and oh my man.
I like the idea of picking that up, but what you do though is you're bumping somebody. Okay, Kim's already got a fight. All right. Well, then what about Dubon?
Give him Kim too.
Okay. Well, then what about Dubon?
That's fine. Put Dubon at short.
What about Mateo?
DH. Him and Dom can switch out in
But
DH.
then you don't have Dom, and then what are you going to do when you get back Murphy and you get back Baldwin?
Send Trump down.
Okay, but then you got an issue with the DH. Okay,
Yeah,
and you've
but
got
here's the thing is
guys. I mean, it's great to have guys on the bench.
Dom
that
and
can come off the
Mateo
bench,
are platoon guys. They're gonna rotate out. You know that, right? Byron Buxton in this lineup would feed families. I mean, this would be, man. I think they're going to have to make a trade deadline move. Now, do I think they'll go get Byron Buxton? No, I don't think they will. I would do it, though, if I was Anthopoulos. And I think
I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see another starter. Well, no, because if you get another starter, okay.
Starting pitcher?
Look, the Braves are going to make the playoffs, okay. All right, so if you get another starter, then the bullpen shores up because, you got Sale. Especially if you could go get a one or a two, all right? And then you got Sale, you got Elder, and you got this other guy, okay? And then you got Strider and Grant Holmes or whatever, because honestly right now, I do not trust Spencer Strider. I know he is becoming more of a pitcher, but there's going to be some lineups where I'm really worried about him.
I know.
So
I get it. So you want to start in pitcher, okay?
Right. So I would want to start in pitcher.
I get that, and I would be okay with that. I think that's the more
That's right, and that's what they will probably do. And Anthopoulos usually does that because and you just get that starter. And first of all, you got to look and see what's out there. Okay, obviously, I mean, what who's out there? Who can we get or whatever? Is it possible? And then, of course, the next thing is what do you have to give up? Right now, if you would give me. I don't know. Just name a pitcher that may be on the. And another thing is all these friggin' teams that are in it, if they're still in it in the middle of July, teams are not going to let a guy go if they can make the playoffs. And so, you'd have to tell me what was on the table, But if you had a solid number one, if you had another team's number one, okay, or a number two that is competitive or whatever, I would be willing to deal Richie for that. I know that's probably a bad move because I think that J.R. Richie is going to be really, really good.
I think he's going to be a stud.
But, however, if you had another ace on this staff right now,
a Max Fried.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
If we'd have just kept him.
Now, Fried won't be going anywhere because the Yankees are in it. They're not going away.
And guess what? They're going to pay him.
They're going to pay him, yeah.
So, they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. So, but if we could get, I don't know, even a DeGrom or something like that. I mean, just a veteran one or two, maybe. So, but otherwise, we have enough to win it all now. Or is it going to happen? Would it be nice to add a piece or two? Of course. But again, it's all just up in the air. So we'll see what's available.
That's what I wanted to get to. JJ Bleday just homered. It's 4-1, bottom of the fourth. But
yeah,
that's I mean, you're gonna get one of those off of Grant Holmes.
Well, if Grant Holmes can go 6 innings and give up 2 runs,
perfect.
You ought to win a game.
So but yeah, that's really all I want to talk about. I just wanted to give a quick update. Okay. Man, I think the Braves are gonna be fine. Said, hey, if anybody wants to join the show, you can email us. You can email me at evitt2424@outlook.com. If there's anybody that listens and they want to join and they have Microsoft Teams access, or we could send them a link. You have a laptop. Hey, we'd be.
You don't need Microsoft Teams access.
Yeah, you don't even need that.
You can simply get the link, join on the browser.
And you're good. That's what Ace does. And by the way, I think Ace is joining us for the next. Is he joining us Sunday?
Ace will be here Sunday. Okay. Yeah.
I know that we brought him on as a special guest, and now he's like a regular Sunday appearance now with him being out of school. So.
Yeah.
It may not be all the time. Obviously, when he goes back to school, he probably won't. But
he won't. No.
But yeah,
especially the fall, he won't have time.
But again, the listeners out there, I didn't realize how many people have actually listened to the show until I found out some of the people at work actually listen to the show. So I did not know that.
If you like the show, thank you. We appreciate
but also reach out to us. Email me with any feedback, or if you want to join, and I'll talk to Chief here, and we don't have a problem having anybody on with us.
Yeah, we don't
have a problem with it.
We were planning on guests anyway. We have a couple of people that are lined up. Anyway.
Yes, we have some people that will come on in the future.
Yep.
But if you want to join, hit us up. We will figure out a way to do it.
Yep.
Like I said, we normally do Thursdays and Sundays. We couldn't do Thursday yesterday but we got today, and we did a little quick one. That's fine. But yeah, that's all I got. again, thanks for joining us. Chief,
Thank
any
you.
final thoughts before I go?
Yeah, like I said, hey, any suggestions, anything about the Low Country Bowl?
About the Low Country Bowl,
put it in the chat. Otherwise,
and if you disagree with us about anything, let us know. Hey,
yep.
You can handle it.
You can talk some trash. Sports are about that, but try to make sure that most of your interactions in your life are positive. Okay. In the job that I do, it is very hard sometimes, but I try to make sure that all of my interactions are positive,
especially when you're dealing with people.
That's right. So, but take care of yourself, take care of your family, your friends, appreciate the people in your life.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it for for the Braves app and just our little filler episode here. Episode 7 will be coming Sunday. Y'all be on the lookout.
Thank you.
All right.